What is up, everybody? My name is Ben, and I am going to be the voice of Goetic impressions for the evening. Today we're going to be talking about the Circle of Solomon and the primary differences between the circle we have constructed for our mats and the circle as it appears in the Mathers and Crowley translation of the Lesser Key of Solomon. Looking at the two circles side by side, there are a few obvious differences that pop out right away. The first is color. This isn't really a real difference, though, to be honest. Mathers and Crowley meant their circle to have colors as well, and they left instructions on what colors things were to be. For the most part, we follow those instructions. The only real deviation here is the colors of the Serpent, which we will get to shortly. The second obvious difference is the proportions between the circle and the triangle. According to the text of the Lesser Key of Solomon, the circle is to be 9 feet across, and the triangle is to be placed 2 feet away from it. The base of the triangle itself is to be 3 feet in width. The triangle is the place where the spirit being evoked is to manifest during the ritual. There are a wide range of schools of thought when it comes to the triangle and the exact nature of it. Most modern occultists are currently of the opinion that the dark circle in the center of the triangle is meant to represent the placement of a scrying mirror, where the spirit can easily appear during the ritual. The exact elevation and placement of the mirror is a matter of some extensive debate. I personally have had the best success placing the mirror at the distance given in the original text, which is 2 feet from the circle, at any elevation comfortable to look into, at an angle where you can make out the distorted features of your own reflection, or in the instance where you are working with a channeler as an intermediary, somewhere they can comfortably look into the mirror without straining themselves. Next, on the original diagram, you will notice that the cardinal directions, north, east, south, and west. We remove them from the mat entirely. The apex of the triangle is meant to be pointed in the cardinal direction most strongly associated with whichever spirit you are evoking. As a result, the mat itself needs to be turned to face that direction, meaning any cardinal directions printed on it would typically be at best misleading. Now the serpent is where things start to get really interesting. Around the body of the serpent is written in Hebrew the names of the 9 stations of the Tree of Life, from Kether to Yesod. With each station there is a series of names corresponding to various angels and archangels. The purpose of these names is to offer the magician protection during the ritual by invoking a wide range of protective energies, as well as bolstering the spiritual authority of the magician to allow them to more easily command whatever spirit they are invoking. You can see up here at the head of the serpent, we start with Kether. On the original circle, after we go through the names of the various angels associated with Kether, we get to SPM, or Sphere of the Prima Mobile. I want you to make a note of this because we are coming back to it. Next we have Chokmah. Like in Kether, you have some angelic names, and at the end you have SFS, or Sphere of the Fixed Stars. As you move on down through each of the subsequent stations on the Tree of Life, you have the planetary associations. Sphere of Saturn, Sphere of Jupiter, Sphere of Mars, Sphere of the Sun, Sphere of Venus, Sphere of Mercury, and Sphere of the Moon. Each of these planetary spheres directly corresponds to the station of the Tree of Life being represented. So effectively what this circle does is invoke angelic protection by way of the planetary archangel and Sephiroth associated with each angel being invoked. This brings us back to Kether and Chokmah. For each of these, instead of invoking a planetary power, we are instead calling on either the Sphere of the Prima Mobile or the Sphere of the Fixed Stars. Both these terms come from the ancient geocentric method of looking at astronomy, that is to say, everything revolving around the Earth. The Sphere of the Fixed Stars and the Sphere of the Prima Mobile were both meant to be outside the spheres of the farthest planets. The problem with this is human beings have not had a geocentric view of astronomy for several hundred years. Most magicians working this system have been raised with an understanding of the heliocentric view of the universe, which is to say that the planets revolve around the Sun, and the further stars and galaxies are all off moving on their own accord. So what happens when we try to tie our angelic protection to a point of reference that our brains know doesn't really apply? We get shitty protection, that's what. So we wanted to correct this for our ritual mat. You can see on our graphic, instead of saying sphere of the prima mobile, or sphere of the fixed stars, we instead have sphere of Pluto and sphere of Neptune. Now, regardless of whether you consider Pluto a planet or not, it does have a strong correlation to Kether, and also symbolizes one of the farthest points from our current existence on Earth that exist within our solar system. Likewise for the sphere of Neptune. The symbolic link is much stronger and more practical for the modern occultist, and we believe yields a much better result than sphere of the fixed stars or sphere of the prima mobile. Other changes that we made were minor and mostly graphical in nature. In several places, we cleaned up bulky or blocky lettering and shifted letters where they overlap the edges of the serpent to make the text more clear and readable. Hopefully this video has gone a fair way toward explaining our decisions when creating the Circle of Solomon for our ritual mat. If you have any questions or comments, drop us a line on Facebook or shoot us an email, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.